today is a kind of retrospective, almost kind of after the honeymoon period look at this rather strange instrument, and it's a little bit of an unfair video because it's not stock, which was unfortunately my bad because as you may be aware, once I get a guitar, I go instantly to my friend at Fletcher Pickups and say, sort me some tonal goodness. And that's what's happened here. So these are not the Stoke pickups. These are a set of Fletcher staple P90s, which are kind of based around the traditional 50s original P90 pickups. The wiring's been uprated, the nuts been changed, the bridge has been changed. So this will be a little bit of a retrospective on this guitar, but we'll hopefully get some playing involved and just a kind of feel for what you get when you buy one of these. Cool. So let's go check out some tones. So, a little bit of my opinions on this guitar. So, firstly, I mean the price of it was about £130 or something. And that was brand new. This wasn't pre-owned. This was a brand new instrument. And straight off the bat, I remember. I mean the finish. Looks hideous, but it was advertised as such. In terms of like finishing floors, it's pretty immaculate. There is, I don't know if you can catch this on the camera, but there's this strange kind of cut of wood that's attached here, and for that price point, you aren't expecting like beautiful pieces of wood and beautiful joints, and that's pretty much what I got here. It's a very mismatched piece of wood. It's very obvious. I think there is another joint further down as well, but I can't quite remember that. So that's something you might get when you get one of these. The action when it first arrived wasn't terrible, but it weren't particularly great, and the strings felt very, very old. So this has probably been sitting in a warehouse for a while. Much like the complaints of the Harley Bentons, this is a very similar thing. The bridge itself, this is a new one, and you can see that this has got compensated saddles. The original one was just a straight stop tail. which meant the intonation was pretty much impossible. And the intonation weren't horrible, but there were noticeable spots where it needed a compensated saddle, and hence this. I might even go even further and get a one with individual saddle adjustment, because even this is not perfect, but it's a damn sight better than it was. The other thing that lets it down, and you might notice during some of the video demos of this, is that the tuners are not good. They hold tune basically, but they are a downside for it. But for the cash, for the fact that you are paying less than £150 for this, I didn't feel ripped off. So take from that what you will. It's playable. It's got mojo for days, and it's pretty much the only thing in this kind of price bracket, kind of up to like the £400-500 mark, that you'll be getting a dual P90 SG looking instrument. So who am I recommending this to? What guitar player am I recommending this to? Not a beginner, to start off with, because some of the issues, like the intonation, the sloppy tuners, and the fact that the guitar comes with relatively poor quality strings, that it might have just been what I got, but they were definitely, the strings were beyond salvation. That could be enough to put a beginner player off, and they might be issues that a beginner player would not be able to deal with. Whereas someone who's interested in certain styles, for example, the SG Special, which I very much was, but don't want to pay the Gibson money. And at the point when I bought this, actually, Gibson weren't doing this style as well. So certain guitars with limited availability. If you've got a little bit of knowledge how to maintain guitars, and you won't get put off just by a few little niggling issues, these guitars are absolutely banging for the money.